Picture the scene. You're George Lucas. I mean, you're not. Probably, but imagine you are. In May 1977 you released the first Star Wars film in theatres and the world went nuts over it.
The prestige of being able to say you've seen Star Wars is something akin to royalty, really.
But now you're nearing the end of the year. The next film isn't due until 1980 and now you've got a bunch of people on your back pushing you to milk the current success as much as you can, as well as maintaining interest in the property until the next film. What do you do? Well, we all know what he did. Enter the Star Wars Holiday Special. Released on CBS on November 17th, 1978 to such massive backlash that it was never officially released again in any form, not even on Disney Plus all these years later. Most people involved in making it basically try to act like it never happened at all.
What if I were to tell you that I had a little piece of tape right now?
Makes you wonder if George actually signed over the rights to it at all, or if he was like, okay, no, you can have all of this stuff, but nobody is getting their hands on this. And I mean, hell, if it weren't for people with their video recorders back on that fateful day, then I do genuinely think it'd be lost to time forever. But as it turns out, I've got a very secret source who's gifted me access to their copy for today. Which I mean is on YouTube for anyone to watch. Now, I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, but I must admit I've never actually put myself through the pain of watching the holiday special, but... Wait, hold on. Sorry, this is last year's script. So yeah, I was actually planning on making this video this time last year, which would have made it the very first video on this channel. I scripted it, I filmed it, and I got partway through editing it before I realised, okay, never mind, this looks awful, this sounds awful, and there's no way I'm actually getting it out before Christmas Day. So I decided to can it. If you've seen the state of my earliest videos, that was definitely for the best. But now it's a year later, and I actually kinda know what I'm doing now. Plus I've already got the script with just a little tinkering, so how about we give it another shot? So without further ado, actually wait 1 second. Much better. Actually, much better. Again, can't even see it, can you? Alright, how cute that is. Alright, whatever, onto the stuff. So without further ado, let's finally take a look at the absolute disaster that was the Star Wars Holiday Special. Disaster? I hardly... So we start off actually pretty normally, joining Han and Chewie in the Millennium Falcon, having a nice little trip through space, for about 2 seconds before they come under fire from an Imperial patrol. Okay, I'm sorry, I get the set being made of cardboard since you probably had a budget of like $10, but you did not have to make it wobble that much. So this attack serves as the perfect excuse for Han to exposition dump everything we need to know going into this special.
I know your family's waiting. I know it's an important day. You'll be celebrating Life Day before you know it.
So yeah, we're trying to get Chewie back home in time for Life Day. Life Day being a Wookiee holiday, which for all intents and purposes is basically space Christmas.
Other religious holidays are available.
Okay, it's more like Thanksgiving since that's when the special came out, but they kind of treat it more like Christmas, so will I. Plus I just like calling it Space Christmas. Sue me.
Stand by, here's where we say goodbye to our unpleasant friends.
The Star Wars Holiday Special, starring Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker.
It's honestly so weird that pretty much all of the main cast from the original film reprised their roles in this special. Well, except for Alec Guinness, since he had a pretty good excuse to get out of it.
R2-D2.
Wait, hang on. Go back.
R2-D2 as R2-D2. What?
Yeah, it turns out Kenny Baker isn't in this either. Guess he was busy. Or more likely, they figured they didn't need his voice. It's not actually him doing the beeps and boops, so they could save some money by just cutting him. Now, it's interesting to know that George Lucas actually had very little to do with the production of the holiday special. He just gave them the basic premise and then left them to it so he could focus on the bigger stuff. And what was that premise? Wookiees! Lots and lots of Wookiees. Frankly, far too many Wookiees. And yeah, turns out there's only so much you can do with that. So the special ended up being this sort of Frankenstein's monster of television, with a bunch of different pieces of content just kind of smushed together to form one full 2-hour show. Primarily, we've got the main story focusing on Chewbacca's family as they prepare for Life Day and wait for Chewie to get home. And this is intersected by a bunch of pieces of random cutaway content just kind of shoehorned in to pad the runtime and attempt to add some star power to the proceedings. And this content ranges all the way from pretty good to awful, but we'll get to them soon enough. For now, let's carry on with the actual story. So we get a nice establishing shot of the outside of Chewbacca's house on Kashyyyk, which surprisingly actually matches up with the Kashyyyk we end up seeing in episode 3, so I guess the special did manage to have some sort of influence on the actual canon. Cut inside and we get a little glimpse into the life of Chewbacca's family. Yeah, that's right, Chewie has a family now. His father Itichikuk, Itchy, his wife Malatobuk, Mala, and Satan himself, his son Lumpuaru, Lumpy. Oh, you saw the films and thought Han was the only family Chewie had? Nope. Chewbacca bones! And the universe is all the worse for it. Wait, hold on, we've got Chewie, Itchy, Lumpy, and Mala.
One of these things is not like the others.
It's Mala. Should have been called Stinky or something. Stinkerfrella. Guess it's just a tradition on Itchy's side of the family. For the sake of simplicity though, let's just call them Mum, Grandpa, and Lumpy. Now I'm sure you're like me, where your idea of quality television is watching minutes on end of Wookiees doing absolutely nothing but scream at each other. No? Well, tough luck, Buster, because that's all you're getting for the next 5 minutes. Including, I shit you not, a 2-minute long sequence where Mum wants Lumpy to put the trash out, Lumpy argues and f***s around for a minute, and then finally gives in and does the 5-second walk to put the bin outside. Hey there, Lumpy, what you doing? Having a little existential crisis? Relatable? Well, wait, what are you doing? No, don't do this, man, you got so much to live for, you got a family! Oh. Okay, sick.
Parkour!
Back inside, Lumpy's come down from the edge now and has decided to take his angst out on his family instead. So Grandpa decides to do what any responsible parent does, stick the TV on and let that raise him for a bit. Which brings us to the first of our main features. I'm sorry, did I say feature? I meant fever dream. I'm guessing this is what passes for early morning kids TV in the Star Wars universe? So if this is what their circus is... Circi? Circadies? Circadies? If this is what their circuses look like, then I absolutely never want to see one of their clowns. But you know, I guess this kinda counts as world building, I can respect that. Oh wait, no, because it goes on for 2.5 minutes. Well, at least Lumpy enjoyed her. So now his union-mandated break's over, it's time for him to get off his ass and do some more chores. Because that makes good TV, I guess. And now for some actual drama. Ooh, turns out Chewie and Han are missing. Have they been shot down by that Imperial patrol from earlier? I mean, it'd be a bit of a bummer to have 2 major film characters die off-screen in a TV special. Christmas, and it'd definitely make it more difficult for them to appear in episode 5, but hey, at least Harrison would be happy.
I argued for 30 years for this to happen.
Right.
And finally, I wore him down.
Anyway, this provides the perfect opportunity to shove in our next cameo, with Mum calling Luke Skywalker to see if he knows where Chewie is. Turns out that's going to be quite the recurring theme. Good thing they're already pretty well acquainted already, even having a live video link with his... garage.
Hello, Mala. Itchy? Where's Chewbacca?
Now there's something pretty unnerving about Luke here. I mean, cast aside the fact he looks like a human Ken doll. Not that one. He barely blinks at all throughout the whole thing. Like he's looking directly into your soul.
Well, all I can tell you is that he and Han left here on schedule. If he's not there now, they're way overdue.
Now I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. It's not going to be funny, but it's just something I find interesting and hopefully you will too. So it's pretty obvious that there's something off with Luke's face here, right? Looking like he's wearing almost as much makeup as the actors playing the Wookiees. And if you know any level of Star Wars trivia, you can probably make a decent guess why. On January 11th, 1977, before filming had even completely wrapped on the original Star Wars film, Mark Hamill was involved in a single car pileup, resulting in pretty severe injuries to his face, ending up with him needing reconstructive surgery on his cheek and even using cartilage from one of his ears to repair his nose. Yuck. Now this didn't really affect the original Star Wars shooting that much. All George had left for him was a few pickup shots of various locations, so they just used a body double for those scenes. But fast forward 8 months and it's time to film this special. Now we haven't reached episode 5 yet, in which the One for Attack gave the perfect explanation for the changes to his face, whether or not that was the original intent of the scene. There's big debate, I know. So the makeup artist had the arduous task of making his face match how it did in the previous movie. And well yeah, the end result was him looking like a human Ken doll. Not that one. There we go. Now this cameo doesn't really serve any purpose other than to have the people watching at home point to their TVs like, oh wow, it's Luke Skywalker from the movie! But it honestly is nice to see. How many other times can you say you've seen actors from the big screen reprise their roles on the little screen? Well, I mean before that.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't like the looks of this. Let me get this fixed.
I was gonna clean my room.
So the rest of the scene is basically Luke just telling the Wookiees to calm down. Chewie's probably just running late.
I wouldn't worry about Chewbacca. I know him and he hasn't missed a life day yet, right? It's just taking him a little bit longer to get there, that's all. Come on, Mama, let's see a little smile. Try to enjoy your life day.
It'll be the last one you ever see.
R2! What are you doing?
So now Luke's dead, the Wookiee segue us immediately into the next segment, this one set in a Wookiee trading post. Wow, for hairy guys who live in trees, they really managed to expand their business across the galaxy. Gotta love the effort they put into naming that planet. And here we're introduced to the most hairless Wookiee I've ever seen, and he seems to be having a bit of Imperial trouble at the moment.
I suppose you want to see my identification?
No, I'm off duty.
As you can see, I've got just about everything a man or Wookiee would want.
Oh, okay, it's a trading post for Wookiees. Yeah, that makes more sense. Weirdly specific target audience, but... Wait, why was that Empire guy shopping in a shop for Wookiees?
A pocket-sized aquarium. Wonderful, isn't it?
I hate fish.
What I love about this scene is that it looks like they decided this guy didn't sound threatening enough, so they planned to dub over him. But they didn't want to deal with lip syncing and whatever, so they just decided to have him either facing away from the camera totally, or so far away you can't tell.
I'm off duty. I've come to look around your shop.
But it's definitely worth it for the weird lizard man voice, right?
Really?
Anyway, Mum calls the shop, seeing if he knows where Chewie is, leading to the most subtle use of code ever televised.
Don't say a word, madam. I know just why you're calling. You're wondering when that shaggy carpet you ordered will arrive at your home. You know, it was made especially for you by a little old woman. In fact, you might say she did it by hand. Solo. Boo!
Not much else happens here. The shopkeep guy sells the lizard man a Wookiee groomer.
Just a groomer.
Just a groomer.
A groomer.
Just a groomer, you say?
I'll take it.
Oh, sorry, did I say sell? Nah, obviously he just steals it, because that's what bad guys do.
Now, would you like to pay me something for it?
I said I'll take it.
I like how the newer Star Wars stuff tries to be a bit more ambiguous or sympathetic towards some bad guys, like they're just doing what they have to do to survive and support their family, or they are brainwashed or conditioned to serve, or even they just genuinely believe that the Empire is actually good for the galaxy. Whereas here, they're just like, nah, he's just an evil fucking snake man.
I want the rebels located and identified, if it means searching every household in the system.
Hope you enjoyed those 2 lines of dialogue, because that's the only real Vader cameo you're getting in this entire special. Kinda refreshing to not have him shoved down our throats, unlike, every other piece of Star Wars media since. Back to the mundane lives of the Wookiees again, and we segue on to the next segment, where Mummy's cooking along to a cooking show.
Hello. Today we are going to be preparing a very succulent dish called Bantha Surprise.
Ah yes, because there's nothing more thrilling than watching someone cook something you can't, because the ingredients don't actually exist.
That old popular holiday favorite, the Bantha Rump.
See, they got clever with it though, made it entertaining by cranking it up until it's 100% batshit insane. And now we're back to Mum being sad about Chewie again. Oh, come on, I already told you it'll be fine. Okay, never mind.
Attention, all viewers. Due to suspected rebel activity on the Kazook planet...
Dude, do your research. It's called Kashyyyk.
The Empire has declared martial law. A blockade has been set up around the planet. No ships will be permitted to land or take off until further notice.
It's me, Zondan. I made it through the Imperial Patrol.
So apparently the Empire knows that Chewie's trying to get home for Life Day, and I guess decide to focus all their attention on ruining his Christmas, so they blockade the entire planet. Honestly, kinda charming they put enough effort in to learn about the holiday, given the only thing they usually care about with Wookiees is taking them as slaves. So anyway, the shopkeeper guy managed to get through the blockade no problem, if only the Empire put as much funds into their defense budget as their research one. Turns out he's here to deliver gifts for the Wookiees, and to make the most of Chewbacca's absence.
And now for the lovely lady of the house. Wait, not so fast. What does an old friend get? That's more like it.
I love to make a Wookiee happy.
So he sets up Grandpa in the Mind Evaporator, which has got to be the least appealing name for a VR machine ever, but it sounds fun enough, something to keep the old guy's brain active.
I thought you might like this. It's one of those, it's a, wow. You know what I mean?
Is that porn?
Happy Life Day.
I do mean Happy Life Day.
Please don't say that's porn. Oh, thank God, it's just a pretty light show. That's nice. You know, the way he described it made it sound dodgy as hell, but fortunately they decided to keep it family friendly. Wait, what's happening?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
I can feel my creation.
No, no, no. What is happening?
Oh, we are excited, aren't we?
Okay, that is enough of that. And then she starts singing.
This minute now.
How far through this are we? Third of the way? Fantastic. Next cameos.
I have made the connection.
So now we have Leia calling the house trying to get hold of Han and Chewie. Lady, it's Christmas. Can't they have one day off? Obviously, Mum is upset on account of, you know, the whole missing husband thing. But let me tell you, Leia does not give a single shit about that.
Happy Life Day.
She says it may be a happy life day for you, but personally, she's seen happier ones.
I don't want to tie up the channels. Somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way. Mala, are you alone?
No, she says she is not alone. She's with a friend.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Sondan.
Look, I know I can count on you to take care of my friends until their leader returns.
Yes, indeed, ma'am. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, they fucking.
Oh, they fucking!
I feel the same way about you too, pal.
So another cut to the Falcon reveals that they've also made it through the blockade and got back home just in time to catch Chewie's wife in the act.
Hello, little guy. Where's your daddy?
Piss off, you nonce.
So now we get a full 5 minutes of the Imperials inspecting the house before we transition into the next segment by means of one of them deciding to just sit down and start watching telly. Well, not really telly, this is the gift Mum got given earlier. A music box which plays a holovid of the song Light the Sky on Fire by Jefferson Starship.
Will you light the sky on fire? Will you light the sky on fire every night?
And yes, they were almost definitely only chosen to guest star because their name contains the word Starship. Now I'm not going to show too much of it here because, you know, copyright, but you should definitely check the full thing out sometime because it's an absolute bop and one of the very few highlights of the special, mainly because for a few sweet minutes you can actually forget that you're watching the Star Wars Holiday Special. So after the Imperials watched the entire song, I'm sure we found some real important clues in there. Oh, look at his little face. They quickly move the plot along. They kick out the shopkeeper guy and start just being absolute dicks up in Lumpy's room. Oh wow, I can't believe Chewie wasn't hiding in there. Mum, not wanting Lumpy to get too traumatized, pushes him to watch some more TV again. And that brings us to the segment known as The Story of the Faithful Wookiee. Now I know what you're probably thinking, oh dear God no, not even more Wookiees, not more awful kids TV that only Lumpy will enjoy. Well no, turns out this 7-minute long cartoon is the only part of this 100-minute long special that people actually like. Which makes sense considering George actually worked on the story for this part, and he wasn't having to write any space politics or lovesick Anakin.
Now that I'm with you again, I'm in agony.
And the Oscar goes to
Hayden Christensen.
Whatever it is, hopefully it's enough to take Lumpy's mind off his missing, possibly dead dad.
We are awaiting the return of Captain Han Solo and his first mate Chewbacca, who are long overdue on a delicate mission.
Oh yeah, good job. So again for this story, we're immediately given all the exposition we need thanks to them just blatantly ripping off Star Trek's captain's log.
Starlog 324-1. From the bridge of the cruiser RS Revenge, Captain Kazahan reporting. Han Chewbacca, delicate mission to acquire the mystical talisman, which has been sought by our forces and by the Empire.
The talisman, it makes things invisible, I think. Yes, even you, which I think might be an improvement.
So Luke, 3PO and R2 set off to find the Falcon and a Chewbacca who's acting very sus.
Come in, Falcon. I can't make radio contact.
And they do eventually find them.
Sir, he's firing on us.
I know, but I don't think he means to hit us. Chewie's a better shot than that.
Before both ships crash down onto the watery planet below.
Are you sure this is the best way? Master Luke, sir, are you all right?
Another happy landing.
They immediately fall under attack by just the friendliest dinosaur ever, before being saved by a badass friendly stranger.
I am Boba Fett.
Yeah. He loves saying that. Now, this is the first appearance of Boba Fett 1.5 years before his appearance in Empire, so audiences have no idea who he is yet. But I think it's pretty safe to assume he's a friend, given the amount of times he says he is.
Friend. Follow me, friend.
Yeah, I trust him.
He seems like a friend.
I take it you have no love of the Empire. Well, neither do I.
So they managed to find Chewie and catch him in the act of just being so sus.
No! Don't destroy it!
Towers. Boba Fett, no!
What did he do to Luke?
He didn't do anything. R2-D2 has detected contamination.
Turns out that Han and Luke are actually under the effects of a human-based sleeping virus brought on by that talisman they are after, with Chewie claiming the only way to keep them alive is to let the blood rush to their heads, hence the... Too bad the gravity's already had a very negative effect on Han's face.
I know this sleeping virus the Empire uses on its enemies. They have a remedy for it in the city. I could get some for you.
Chewbacca insists on going with you.
You will only get in the way, but if you must, come on.
So Boba and Chewie head to the nearby market, which just happens to have the exact cure they need for this secret Empire virus.
You stay here while I get the serum.
And we get another little Starlog update just to really spell out that maybe Boba isn't a friend after all.
Although Boba Fett quickly located the serum for the sleeping virus, we had no idea of his real plan. I have made contact with the rebels, and all is proceeding as you wish, Darth Vader.
Oh, come on, why'd you go and ruin it?
I wonder what's keeping Chewbacca. Try to find him on the view screen. Darth Vader.
Good work. Now that you've gotten their trust, they may take you to their new base.
This time we'll get them all.
I see why they call you the best bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Oh no.
Yep, I guess the Emperor's #1 enforcer and
the best bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Use the worst encryption known to man.
We must leave quickly, friend.
On the way back, Chewie kills some Imperials and Boba is just very disapproving. Before they get back, heal the humans, reveal the truth about Boba.
Boba, you're a hero and a faithful friend.
Incorrect.
Boba blasts off. We find out Chewie was sus all along. Suspicious of Boba, that is.
How did you know, Chewie?
He just didn't smell right.
Well, let's get off this galactic raindrop.
And that's the end of that. But yeah, out of all the other trash in this special, this one was a little nugget of gold. And everyone clearly knows it, considering it's now available to stream on Disney+. Cut free of the slog of the rest of the special, and of Lumpy.
Go clean up your room.
Now the Empire's finished destroying Lumpy's room, he can go back up there and he's just devastated. For about 2 seconds before he's distracted by his gift from earlier, a mini transmitter. And we're treated to... the instructional video.
This product was packed under strict quality control on the system of Morphia, and this instruction cassette provided by the manufacturer.
And yeah, it's as fun as it sounds.
It offers a unique chance for consumers everywhere to meet an Amorphian being.
Basically, the guy doing the presentation is like a robot man or something, whose body may spontaneously stop working, and that can lead to all sorts of wacky hijinks. As a concept, it could have actually been pretty funny, but my god, they did not execute it well. It's pretty much 3.5 minutes of a man attempting to give boring instructions while glitching and moving a bit weirdly.
Let's get started, shall we?
2 very boring minutes later.
Our neurocranial synapses is absolutely essential.
Oh, thank God.
The following live broadcast is recommended by the Imperial Council in the belief that your commitment to remain upstanding citizens will be reinforced.
And now we're thrown right into the final and meatiest of the segments, clocking in at a whopping 13 minutes long. It's introduced as
required viewing for all members of the Imperial forces.
So of course all the Imperials in the house immediately stop what they're doing and start watching it. Though at this point you know they'll take any excuse to just watch some telly. So now we're inside a familiar location, the Mos Eisley Cantina, and we get a little look at an average day run in the place. We get a full minute just showing all the scum and villainy inside before we're introduced to the worst of them all. Now I don't mean the worst in this segment, no I mean the worst in the whole special. Actually no, just the worst. Just in general.
What'll it be?
Hello, Acmina.
Okay, we'll do it your way. Hello. Now we'll do it my way. What'll it be?
Doesn't matter, give me anything.
I'll have one of those. I'm sorry I couldn't get back before.
Before what?
Until now. Until tonight. I thought about it a dozen times, but I had to be sure.
Excuse me, I have a customer waiting. I'll be right back.
Come back soon. I'll be waiting.
After almost a full 4 minutes of watching this guy literally just sexually harassing the bartender...
Look, there's a flower on top of it. Flowers for you. Agneta, don't do this to me.
Now, please, look, I have customers.
You'll change your mind. I just know you will.
We're finally saved from it.
Due to increased activity among subversive forces, we are placing a curfew on the entire Tatooine system effective immediately. All inhabitants will return to their homes at once.
Well, that's it then. Time to close up shop and kick out all the customers. Or that's the plan, at least.
Gentlemen, I guess you didn't hear what I said. The party is over.
How dare you?
All right. I can take a hint. We'll have one more round.
And then she starts singing.
Just one more round, friend. Then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams.
Now, I really want to hate this. I mean, it comes out of nowhere, it's completely out of place, and it doesn't make any sense at all given the context, but honestly, I love this song. I think there's something about B. Arthur's voice that just gets me right here. Plus, I like the alternate, more boppy version of the normal Cantina.
Good night, but not goodbye.
Oh, I'm sorry, apparently it's Jats now. Well, we're not allowed to call it anymore? Was there something funny about the name Eva Orbit and his galactic jizz whalers? Grow up, Disney.
Good night, friend.
Now, what a beautiful way to end the final segment of the special. A bartender saying a mournful goodbye to all of her patrons, not knowing when or if she'll ever open the bar again.
Good night, but not.
No! God, please, no!
And that's how they chose to end the segment. I mean, I don't even want to joke about it, it's just fucked up. I know sensitivities have changed in the decades since, but surely this was never a good idea. Also, why was that essential viewing?
Required viewing for all members of the Imperial Forces.
Return to base. Return to base. Return to base. Message received and obeyed. We leave at once.
You know what? I gotta give it to Lumpy. I mean, he's been an obnoxious little furball for the last hour, but he's really come through at the end here.
You, stay here. Return to base. Return to base.
So Lumpy manages to get past the stormtrooper but is quickly cornered on the balcony from earlier. Thankfully, Chewie is finally here to save... Okay, never mind, he's a hostage now too. Thankfully, Han's also here and is a master of the long-forgotten martial art of slapstick.
It's okay, everybody. He's gone. How are you? Mala! Mala, I'd love to. I gotta go. Have a nice life day. Chewie, check and see if the coast is clear, will you? Bye, everybody.
Oh, that's nice. They finally get to celebrate Life Day together. And we get to witness the most holy of Life Day traditions, the ceremonial walking into the sun. And that's it. We finally got through... Wait, what's happening? Okay, I guess it's not over.
Happy Life Day, everyone. Chewbacca! Chewbacca, we were so relieved to hear you were all right.
Oh wow, they actually managed to get all the cameos in the same room at once. That's impressive.
This holiday is yours. But we all share with you the hope that this day brings us closer to freedom and to harmony and to peace.
Yeah, so then Leia decides it's her job to give an inspiring speech to all the Wookiees just trying to celebrate Christmas. Typical politician.
I hope that this day will always be a day of joy in which we can reconfirm our dedication and our courage, and more than anything else, our love for one another.
It's a bit pretentious, but it is a pretty nice note to end the special on. And then she starts singing.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony.
And if you thought the use of the Star Wars theme was weird in episode 9, then enjoy!
That one day will be free.
And that really is it. There's a few minutes left of Chewbacca reminiscing about episode 4 and then spending the rest of Life Day with his family, so while that's happening, I'll just go over a few little bits of trivia, I guess. So first of all, it turns out we almost didn't get any of those cameos from the main cast. Mark Hamill knew full well how terrible the special would be after reading the script, but he did it as a personal favour after George called him up and asked him to do it for him and the merchandisers. I'm guessing it's a similar story for the rest of them because I really can't imagine them doing it just for the money. The guest stars, on the other hand, I have no idea about. Maybe they just wanted to get out of the house and leave all their Oscars, Emmys, Golden Globes and Tonys behind for a bit. Secondly, you know I said about how most people involved like to pretend it never actually existed. Mark Hamill once quoted George as saying, "If I could find every copy of that holiday special, I'd smash them with a hammer." On the other hand, Carrie Fisher previously claimed that she was gifted a copy of the special by George and that she put it on at parties when she decided it was time for the guests to leave. Harrison Ford just straight up says he has no memory of filming it. And while the new Disney overlords still refuse to fully embrace the special, they have started to reference it in their own way. Way back in the first episode of The Mandalorian, we had Life Day name dropped, now a holiday celebrated around the galaxy.
I was hoping to be free for Life Day.
Hey, I said those Wookiees were good at expanding. We also got the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, which premiered on Disney Plus in November 2020, focusing on the sequel trilogy crew celebrating their first Life Day after the fall of the First Order in episode 9. Disney have even started selling Life Day merch, such as t-shirts, plushes, and yes, even Funko Pops. There's even been canon books released based on Life Day. And then there's the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which released back in November last year, which while not directly connected to this special, it's pretty easy to see where the inspiration lies. And finally, Chewbacca's family. I can't believe I'm saying this, but even they exist now in the new Disney canon, though presented very differently to how they appeared in the special. We saw in Solo how Chewie was enslaved by the Empire until he was freed by Han. Turns out most of his family met a similar fate. Lumpy's now no longer the annoying child enjoying doing nothing all day at home. Instead, he and his mother were forced into slave work at an Imperial labour camp until the two got separated. Years later, he eventually managed to break free with the help of his father. Grandpa, on the other hand, is now a badass. During episode 3's Battle of Kashyyyk, he served as a gunner on a Wookiee fighter, even throwing thermal detonators at enemies, having practices throwing in a mind evaporator. See kids, technology can be used for more than just porn after all. And I think that's about it. Only took me a year. So yeah, that was the Star Wars Holiday Special. Going through this old script, I did almost have a sense of nostalgia for it. Like some of the parts are actually pretty nice. In moderation. Problem is they take something that could be pretty decent for like half a minute and instead drag it out for like 10 times longer than it needs to be, and then pad that out further with Wookiee screaming. So as nostalgic as it may have been, there was absolutely no way I was rewatching the whole thing again this year. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me when trying to edit this together. If you got all the way through this video, then thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. Happy holidays, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.